amazing instrument. It has developed into an incredible voice in today's music. So many types of guitars, so many styles of playing, all sorts of gear. How does one make their voice be heard as a guitarist? My name is Jeff Floro, and welcome to All About Guitar, where we talk tone, we talk technique, we talk gear. Where we discover how we can become better musicians in a world of constantly changing technologies, where we take a good look at everything guitar, and sometimes not exactly guitar, but just as important, so we can be more successful as a musician in today's music scene. So sit back and relax, and let's explore all about guitar. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to All About Guitar. As you can see, we've been busy today. We brought out all our toys in honor of our Christmas season. Nothing better around the tree than a bunch of pedals. Now, I don't have a tree in here. We have a little bush right over here, but it's close enough. Anyway, this is our pedal show, and it's really cool just to come in and just play with some really interesting pedals. My guests are Howie Anderson, known for the Strawberry Alarm Clock, but also known as one of the great collectors of pedals. He's got some unusual stuff, some really cool stuff. And he's my go-to guy when I want to hear about some of the radical new stuff. And then also Kathy Lauer, who besides being in Sister Skynyrd, and she is Tone Zone LA, and she was the one that built my pedal board and turned me on to a bunch of different pedals. And she has some new ones here that are going to be debuting, I think, at NAMM, and we're going to try some of them out. Now, we're not going to get to all of these pedals. There's just too many of them, but I'm going to try to talk a little bit. I brought some of my older pedals from the vault, and as Howie's tweaking sounds, because we're going to be putting stuff up and demoing them live, the pedals that he's doing live, we'll start talking about some of these. I have some pretty vintage pedals here that are pretty unique and were quite popular in the day. I have to give honorable mention to this pedal because it just looks cool. Yeah. This thing, it's called a Shift Daddy, and it's like an Art Deco car. It is so cool. So I just wanted to mention that. Anyway, Kathy, Howie, and Doug's going to be helping us grabbing guitars and doing all sorts of weird stuff. Welcome to the show. This is so cool. I love this. Yeah. There's just so many pedals here.
It's really cool.
So anyway, let's go ahead. Howie, what do you want to take a look at? Now, I think one of these pedals that's on the board right now is one of the pedals you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, this is a pedal by JHS Pedals. And Tone Zone LA is, of course, a dealer for JHS pedals. I happen to have brought it because I happen to have this one in stock. It's called Haunting Mids, and it's a really cool pedal because it's all about the mid-range. And this is one of the characteristics about this pedal is it's focused on all aspects of the mids, and you can go anywhere from driving your distortion into it or using the mid-range pedal after your distortion. You have experiment where you want to place it, but also you can actually tweak this pedal to sound like a Partois.
Now it's basically a clean pedal. It's just you boost the mids.
Right, you're boosting.
So we need to clarify which ones are like a clean pedal as opposed to a distortion that actually really alters the sound.
As opposed to a dirt box.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff that alters your mind besides the sound. So anyway, let's go ahead and try this guy. And
can we check that? You want to tweak those while I just... Wow.
You could hear it boost.
It's almost like an acoustic guitar. I bet you can do just about anything with this thing.
And we're on the low side right here.
What's the toggle say?
High and low.
Okay.
And this is a humbucking pickups.
This is Kathy's SG.
Yeah.
It's a 1986 8.
It's beautiful.
Is this the
Gibson
one with
SG.
that pickup in from what's his name's guitar?
Yes, they're Gary Rosington's pickups.
There you
Wow.
go.
Get out of here.
So, as the story goes, but we'll just focus on the pedal here. So there's the sweep low. We're in the high position right now.
Right.
I've got the volume at noon, and we've got the mids maybe at 9 o'clock right now. So I'm gonna inch up the sweep to about noon, and then
Wow.
keep inching up as we go up. It is sounding like an acoustic quality right there.
It's giving it a little more girth in the mids. Now, just so you understand the signal chain, this pedal board is going into a GK Plex, which I'm using as a preamp. Out of the preamp, I have this set up to, and we'll play this a little bit later. I have my Strymon Deco pedal because I wanted to show them the flange on it, and then that's going into the board. So basically, the overdrive you're hearing, it's distorting a little bit. He's overdriving the GK Plex, which is functioning like a regular amp.
Yeah, because we're basically clean right now.
Yeah,
So
but you got a lot of signal coming out. Try it with the distortion
the
pedal.
gain
Yeah.
pedals. I'll let you adjust
Yeah.
that, Howie. And
And there's
and we've got the JHS Haunty Mids is going into the distortion pedal.
the bonsai. And
The bonsai.
Yeah, also distortion.
Yeah.
This basically is a very interesting circuit. This is, let's see, is it 8? Tube screamer circuits. And they're the real deal. They're not, you know what I mean? They each, he uses like what a lot of modern pedal makers are doing. A digital brain, basically, you know, to like route things, but the circuitry is all analog.
Right.
Who makes that?
That's JHS,
JHS
as well.
as
Josh.
well.
Josh.
Josh, you're the man.
Yeah. And
Now I just raised the mids.
Yeah, you can hear the thump.
let me get the back pickup. Let me turn on the drive a little bit just to see.
And I just switched
Yeah.
it from low to high there.
There's an example where the pedals are making me do this. You know.
Yeah, you're reacting to
Yeah,
the sound of the pedal.
Exactly. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Should we move on?
Okay, what do you want to try now? And while you're doing that, I'll
Yeah,
talk
you'll
about
talk.
one of the other pedals.
Okay, we'll
All right.
just
Here's
thinking-
one that I brought. I'll talk about. He's setting that up, and let me mute you. Just tell me when you need sound.
okay.
I'll mute it. This is a Univox Super Fuzz, and it basically has expander balance, so you have a clean to distorted tone, and then the expander is the amount of distortion. And there's two switches. One is kind of a real buzzy, fuzzy sound, and the other one is the one that sounds. I used to use this a lot in studios,
You want to go in the MOOG?
direct into the board, because it got
Let's do those.
it sounded like a distorted amp. And but I found later, we went to see years ago in the Who play at the Forum, and they played for both the Quadrophenia and the Who's Next tour, and he had a stack of high watts, and he had this pedal on the ground. So this is what he used. This was a pretty cool one. This one is a really old one. This is my original fuzz face. I bought this in 1967. You can see it. You'll see the other one in a minute. There's really these small knobs, silver. They were all silver. There was no other color. This is a germanium one, so it has the germanium transistors in it. It's a lot mellower. It doesn't have as much gain as the newer ones, but it has the sound. And it's a really nice sound. It's not as buzzy as the later Fuzz faces. And I think now Dunlop in those little mini ones, they make this version, the germanium one. Here's the other one. This I got later in the 70s, early 70s. And this one has been trashed because I put it on my pedal board. And this one's a lot buzzier. You can see it has these knobs. The nose came off, and this is probably what most people are used to seeing around. But this, both of these two Fuzz faces are just killer.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
Excellent condition, might I add.
Next up, we have a this is a new company, new to me. We discovered him at the Amp show this past October, and the company's called MLC Amplifiers. And yes, they make amplifiers. But I'm told, and they're out of Poland. But I'm told his wife is actually the kind of builds the pedals here. And I first heard these at the Amp show, and I was really impressed, kind of the quality of the pedal. Their amps are very well made as well. They range anywhere from a vintage classic rock sound to really high gain. The thing that impressed me most about their amps was the noise floor was really low. I thought it was gated. He said, no. I asked him what the secret was. No. So this one's called the Brown Sugar, and it's like so I'm gonna give you some gain. We've got the gain is probably about 11 o'clock, and tone is at noon.
Where's your output volume?
And right here.
Okay, bring it up a little more.
Okay,
so you get a little more signal on here, so they can hear it.
Okay, we're just over noon here.
There you go.
Ooh, nice.
So it's not a lot of distortion because we're about 3/4 of the way up here, but we're also on the first. It's got a rotary knob for 3 different positions here for gain structure. So I haven't played with this one as much. That's why we're doing this here. So this is on number 1.
Okay.
So let's. There's all the way the tone knob.
Man,
This is position 3.
Seems like it gets deeper. A lot more boost on the low end. Scoops it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. It's a very nice pedal.
And this is position 4. Kind of like a vintage pushed amp. It's not overly distorted.
Try Howie, play some single note stuff to get some sustain to see how it sounds. Go to the first or second and bring the gain up.
Now we're maxing everything here.
The volume and tone are up all the way.
Yes.
So we're just hearing the pickup. Okay. That gets pretty rumbly.
That's a nice sound. Nice and rude.
And it's to point out here, we're actually going direct. We're not going into an amp.
Yeah,
exactly.
And we're getting kind of amp.
Keep playing. I'm gonna put the deco in for a minute. I want to see what it does. Now this is the Strymon Deco. I did a show with Strymon. It's basically 2 tape deck preamps that they digitally reproduce and pull it out of phase. You can hear it cancel. It gets you that full sweep. And I have it coming after the GK so that you can get the whole frequency going in. Go ahead and keep playing.
I'm gonna do a big long chord. What do you think?
So you can hear it sweep, and it goes through negative. It's 0 point through, so it fully cancels out. You hear it going. There it goes. So anyway,
Nice.
that's pretty cool.
So imagine that pedal through a push damp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I think that's what this is designed to do.
yes, clearly, that's a great pedal, man.
Okay, so what else
Okay.
do you want to show us?
Well, we
Same
got
company.
one more from this company, and they call it their Elevation. So I'm gonna.
I'll unplug him. While we're doing that, here's another one. This is my friend Joe Beauchard makes. This is called the Great Fuzz. And it's a standard kind of fuzz. The thing that's interesting, it has a choke control. And the choke basically pulls the voltage down. So it's below whatever. This is, I think, a 9 volt. So it pulls it below 9 volts, almost to like 1 volt. And it gets really rude when you start starving
I'll
the
bet.
circuit.
It's a great
And you
sound.
have one. You had mentioned one.
Yeah, that was the Toxic Fuzz. These guys are from Argentina. Look at how many knobs on that, baby.
Oh man, this is even much. Oh wow, feedback, fat, volume, gain, tone, voltage.
It's
So this has the same type of thing, and it's another type of way of getting a more rude, dirty type of sound. These are both of these are well made.
Yeah, excellent pedals.
Joe Beauchard, who makes guitars and makes really good guitars, check him out, joebeauchard.com if I'm correct.
how do you spell that, Joe?
Beauchar. And anyway, this is called the Great Fuzz, and this one's called the Toxic
Toxic
Fuzz.
Fuzz. That's Retrohead is the name of that company. And they're from
Retrohead.
Argentina, and he doesn't speak much English.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
He just has
He
to
does
speak
not
fuzz,
have to.
and he's got it.
No es necesito, man. No doubt about it.
Retrohead Toxic Fuzz. I'm writing this down.
I'm hoping they're at the NAMM show, but I know that small companies, that's a big,
Yeah.
that's hard to do.
That's kind of they you usually do 1 year, and then they.
Or a lot of
yeah,
guys
so we
team
know.
up. They get a table and they're all,
That seems like the way as
Yeah.
NAMM cost goes up.
yeah, exactly.
We're
Okay,
ready here.
Here we go.
All right, let me put you on. There you go.
Okay,
Guess
now
I'm
we've
gonna-
got the Elevation Fuzz from MLC. So let's raise the level. Okay, we're on the lowest fuzz setting right now. We're at the tone knob is noon, and we're on, again, like the brown sugar, this one has a 4-position switch to change the boost tone for this. So,
Right.
let's raise up the fuzz.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Is that supposed to happen?
I think so.
That could be like it's sputtering.
Yeah, it's sputtering
Talking
low
about
end
the dying
too.
thing,
Switch the switch. I want to see what it. Or something malfunctioning.
I wonder. Wow. So you have the fuzz all the way down. It's still pretty fuzzy monster.
And we're maxed out here, so
Take pull it out of the circuit. Shut it. No, bypass it. That's what's going on. Turn that off.
okay.
Was that on? Oh,
Yeah,
1 second.
okay.
I was
All right,
wondering.
so-
It was just too weak. Whoa! There you go.
Rookie move.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, hear this.
Oh, let's try this again.
Jeff, you better get someone else next time. Everything else is on.
Okay, this is the position 1. We're a little above noon, 1 o'clock on the tone, and we're maxing the fuzz out. There's the lowest.
Oh, that's nice. That thing's heavy, just at minimum.
Yeah, it's a fuzzer, all right.
It almost seems to change the EQ dynamic in it as it goes from low to high. Let's try position 2. Now that's the lowest setting on the fuzz.
Where's the output? You bring the gain up a little more.
That's the lowest fuzz setting.
Use the bridge pickup, Howie. Okay, try the bridge one over by the bridge.
We're still in position 2. Let's try. There's position 3.
Interesting.
Here's position 4. There's lowest on the fuzz.
Oh wow.
I'm not hearing much on the tone. Go ahead and hit another setting.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's way active.
Go to 2.
Okay.
Go to 1. So on 2 and 3, the tone switch has more of a
Effect.
Interesting. Oh, you're doing the low sub thing.
Yeah,
It almost sounds synthy.
It does.
Yeah, no, it's just it's a different type of distortion.
Yeah.
And it's doing that like
The spitting.
the gating, the sputtering thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think position 1 is actually the gating.
It's a real nasty sound.
Yeah.
This sound right here on the Fuzz Factory, it's reminiscent of the sound Zach calls a Velcro fuzz. Is the description he had for that?
Yeah.
It actually kind of. You can see the sound kind of falling off, half Velcro on, half off. Cool.
Another
right.
tool to have fun.
That's right.
Okay, now what do we want to try?
Okay, we'll move
Well,
on to
let's go ahead and try the. Let's go down to your pedal board. What you have on here, and I just want to mention we have. This was a little secret that we used to use. Kathy and I use. This is a Hawk preamp, and this guy has a 3-band EQ on it, and it boosts. It has a treble boost. There's 3 switches, on and off, treble boost, and then the straight boost. This thing would go up to like about 18 or 20 dB.
Wow.
So it was pretty hot. And these worked really great with my Fender amps because the Fender amps didn't have the gain stage back then, the older amps. This thing would just make them scream. And she used a lot of treble on her Marshalls, but I would always bring the treble down and run it this way. And it had a mid boost that really kicked in. But I was telling her one time I was at a jam session and I brought my Jaguar, which wasn't popular. This was like in the 80s.
No, they were.
Everybody hated them.
They
They wanted Les Pauls. Yeah. And this guy that was jamming with me had a Marshall stack. And I brought a super reverb.
Oh, nice.
And I put this in the back and hit it. And and they looked at me with this Jaguar like, what are you doing with a surf guitar? And when I tuned up, I had the reverb and the clean. So it sounded like Beach Boys. And then I kicked this thing in, and it was louder than the Marshall with the super reverb.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the, and this was kind of funny, but this was the little guy.
Yeah, these are, there we are.
What year is this?
These came out in the early 70s.
70s.
Yeah.
And I saw them on an ad in Guitar Player magazine. Yeah. That's where I discovered this. Now, she doesn't have it on hers, but there's a little leather thing for you to put on your belt.
Used to be there.
Oh, get out.
So you could wear it on your belt. And this is the original case for it.
They're called the S-Hawk tonal expanders. Wow. That's what they are. A little bit of
Hawk
1970s there.
And there's a necessary tool. They feel the need. I mean,
Oh, that thing! Yeah. I used that in the studio more than I used it live, and that thing I could get when I use my deluxe with that.
Oh yeah, that would.
I would get so much harmonics and the feedback. I could literally chromatically change around. And
they run on 2 9 volt batteries,
and they killed
it's 18 volt.
2 9-volt batteries in a gig.
Oh yeah,
they just sucked the power, but they were great. They sounded great. Okay,
all right.
go ahead and show us what's this green guy.
The green guy. Well, that's the bonsai, and that's our tube screamer. That's gosh darn, I can't count.
That's JHS.
JHS. Josh came up with that, and one of these is very obscure. It's the one that says XR on it, and it's actually is a Polish obscure tube screamer. He's such a nut, that Josh, and one of them is actually
a lovable nut.
Oh,
well,
he's awesome.
Let's go through them.
He's awesome. Sure. Well, here's JHS's. He has his own on here. And then this one is Keeley's mod for tube screamer. And obviously there's going to be differences, so I guess we could not quite as here's a TS7.
Bring the gain up, the output.
Yeah, and some of these are lower gain than the others. That's the drive cranked. When we get, and there's XR. This is the one I think is the little obscure Polish company. I don't know that we're going to hear a lot of difference. You know what I mean? In our,
They're very
subtle, but there is a difference.
You can really hear it. You know, when you got a rig going. Matter of fact, the thing you do with this is you go and you just start going through as a voice, a pre-voice thing, and you pick one of these tube screamers that fits the room in your in your amp and so on.
And a tube screamer is actually engineered to work with an amp because
right.
In a clean signal like this, it's not going to be really prominent.
Yeah.
Like it would be in an amplifier.
There's a TS9.
Yeah, there's a difference in the gain for each one.
And then here's 808. Let's see what that does. Try the front pickup. Yeah, it's just playing chords. That was pretty rude. This is... What the heck does that one say? It's the first one, whatever it is, Josh. Sorry. So there's that guy.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then I just got this. And this is the Walrus Audio, and they make a lot. They're like Strymon. They make a lot of these really cool, well-voiced ambient type machines. I mean, they do a lot of things, but this is.
Okay, let's
check this out. Here we go. And there's different, we could, again, spend hours just this guy.
Bring the output of it up a little bit.
I don't think I can. I can do the mix. I should probably hit, when I hook up something else, maybe we can hit it with something that will boost up the signal a little bit. Whoops.
Oh, here, I can do it here.
Okay. And I'll give it more mix. You can really hear this guy. You can hear it's doing a synth.
You can hear the voice.
The overtone, yeah.
Ambient overtone of the voice.
And anyway, and there's modulation in here clearly at this one. You can't latch in this mode. And then here's the Dream. That's why I like this one too.
Not to mention, it is a really cool looking pedal.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
With the crescent moon in it.
Pick it up so
Yeah.
it'll be upside down, but you can get an idea.
And one of the guys on YouTube commented that it looks it reminds him of the DreamWorks. And I think they did that a little bit on purpose. To
Yeah,
put a little
it kind of does.
tribute
actually,
to it.
with
Yeah.
I was also checking to see. Okay.
And you can the swell that happens. You can program. Like when it comes in sooner or later, if you want to goof around, and you can hear the modulation.
And for those of you who might not know, Walrus Audio is right up there in the boutique market,
Yeah.
like Chase Bliss, Earthquake Devices, JHS, Strymon. I mean,
Yes.
they all make these really high quality, well made voice.
Now, I'm taking the depth down, and I'm slowing the sweep a little bit. You can hear it. So it's not warbling as much.
Right,
It's
you took
more
it.
like a chorusing.
I mean, these are great pedals for
Yeah,
creating
just really-
soundscapes.
Absolutely. And this mode does does this. Ooh, wow. It sounds like it's in stereo.
Less is more.
Absolutely.
So pull it back
I
a little
love
bit.
pedals that you just strum, and it's awesome. So there, it's
That's a good sweep. That's a
Yeah.
nice
Nice.
sound.
You can jam over that. And next to it, I have the Chase Bliss, this chorus pedal. It's called the Warp Vinyl, and that's just amazing. I've just got it set for something simple, but
Go ahead and kill the other one so they can hear it.
sure. And it's got tap tempos, which is nice.
Yeah. Another noteworthy thing with Chase
Yeah.
Bliss pedals is
Oh,
Now, what's the brand on this one?
Chase Bliss.
Chase Bliss, great title.
Yes, and Chase Bliss pedals are usually they have a control value output, which is expression pedal, and MIDI as
Yeah,
well.
check this out. Sell dip switches. You're
Yeah.
out of town.
It's highly programmable.
Yeah, it is so amazing.
And because it's MIDI and you can change values with the expression pedal, it's really versatile.
And you can change the beginning of the wave and the end of the wave.
And Chase Bliss pedals, if you're a MIDI person, will not only send MIDI, accept MIDI
Right.
changes like a MIDI clock if you're scoring or whatever you're doing, but it also will send MIDI as well.
Here's the warp vinyl sound they talk about. Kind of like a. Sometimes you don't want that much, but
It's if you want to purposely destroy your tone.
Yeah, little.
For a small footprint pedal,
Oh yeah, it's just amazing.
it offers
It's
a
also
lot.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And then at the end here, this is the Avalanche run. They now have a version 2 that's in stereo, which is unbelievable. The stereo spread is ridiculous. This is stereo 2, but it's not. It's version 2 is better. But and what goes on here is I have it set up so it's in reverse, and you put it at the end of your chain. These guys together right here. I just kept these in line. This is kind of my little ambient.
So that's what
thing.
is that, Earthquaker?
It's the Earthquaker Avalanche run. Great name for it.
Yeah.
And it has the backwards setting is gorgeous on this. We've all played things that do backwards, but some are better than others for whatever reason.
It's hard to do it in real life.
Yeah, for sure. I did that once.
Buy
I
a
tried-
pedal instead.
I tried to do a backwards guitar solo.
That's
Failed
kind of like a
miserably.
synth sample and hold.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the back.
Yeah.
if we do these guys together. David Lynch. Good stuff. And then you can throw the quarters in there. Slow it down though.
And you can warp it all with a chase.
Yeah, warp it all, or just, and you know, obviously you can just have it be a subtle. Yeah, I love this kind of stuff. All right, cool. Definitely,
That is a cool pedal. And what's interesting is how they interact with each
Right.
other. That's where you get even more unique in doing different things. Now, tell me a little bit about this guy. What is
that's
this?
great. That's Josh's JHS. He calls it the foot fuzz, and it's cute because it just has a sock, and if you can see the Josh does, like, he has these sort of Egyptian hieroglyphic symbols for his pedals.
Josh has a very great sense of humor
Big
when it
time.
comes
Big
with
time.
his company and
Pretty
pedals.
good.
And,
We can actually hook it up if you want.
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
let's hook this up. Can you mute me?
I will meet you.
He also has a version 2 of this. I don't know what's,
Now, while they're doing that, here's another one. This is a Ramble by Micro Ramey. This is a overdrive. It's not really a distortion unit. It's pretty much a fairly clean sound. It dirts up a little bit, but it's basically a Dumble circuit. So it gives you like a Dumble front end to drive your amp, and it's a great sounding little pedal.
Cool.
It's actually not that little, but it's a great sounding one.
Well, we're ready to go here.
Okay.
Jeff.
All right, here we go.
Now, here we go. Here's that. Let's turn all these other boys off. Here we go.
All right, let's hear this little guy.
Okay, I'm going to start off easy. It's a really cool little fuzz.
Bring the gain up.
Yeah, I just wanted to go slowly because this could hurt us. I guess you got a setup where it's pretty safe right now, right?
No, you're not blowing it up.
Now, getting with an amp, this would be just stupid.
Let me flange that.
Yes. Oh, that's a good team.
That's the deco with it.
Nice.
It's got a great sound. That's cool. All right. No, that's good.
There you go.
Awesome.
Let's-
Josh knows how to fuzz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
What else?
such
Do you
an-
have some other cool things back there?
Yeah, I got the. Let's hit the Mooger figures.
Yes, the Moogerfrugers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have some novel stuff that we need to check out.
Now, while he's talking about that, I'm not gonna. I'll try to pull this guy out. This is a rare pedal. Of course, Howie spotted it
Right away,
really
yeah.
quick when I took the picture last night of all the pedals. This is a Tycho Brahe pedal flanger. Tycho Brahe originally did sound systems, but they made a flanger with a variable pedal. This is one of the first pedal controlled flangers, and then also too. Let me mute your guitar so it doesn't click. And it also it had one of the best sweep things. It was a Bucket Brigade analog thing. It's noisy as hell. But this thing was
positive too.
amazing.
Yeah, you're
They
on- you're
made
on
the
it.
pedal flanger for a while, and they also made an octave fuzz that was popular. And everyone before everybody could get the Roger Mayer one, and I used this a lot live. I didn't use it a lot in studio because it was too noisy. But it's a great little unit. It does have this very cool sound, it worked well with guitar. It kind of got a Hendrixy type of thing, even though. And then this one, while he's still wiring that, this I got at Lonnie's amp show. They had an auction. This wasn't working. It was $30, and this is a Rotovibe.
That was last time, right?
Yeah, last
Yeah,
time.
I remember that.
The Rotovibe, and so it's basically a Univibe with a pedal, all one self-contained unit. So it's a Univibe pedal, so you can change the rate, or I think you can sweep it too, and it's a really nice pedal. My friends have been using these for a while, but this is my latest one of the. What do you want? Just
We need.
pull?
Should I pull one of these? what can
What
be
other one
pulled?
is what is it using?
Yeah, what's being used? This guy's mine. You get this. You need this.
Yeah, I need that.
And the one spot, can we just? Is that what you've got?
Yeah, it
Want to bypass that just for now?
All right, let's pull it out.
Yeah.
The thing about Moog
Yeah.
pedals that I know from putting them in other people's boards is they take a certain type of connector that's and the 2.1 doesn't fit it. It's a 2.5.
And their positive tip too, which is
Yeah, the Tycho Brake 2 had a flipped.
Yeah, and they're
Wasn't
and
a
they're-
standard. They
yeah,
did that
and
on
they're-
purpose.
positive tip.
Yeah, and yeah, see,
cool.
yeah, the reverse polarity.
Now,
Exactly.
while he's doing that, here's another one that I brought out from the archives.
But we're good.
This is the original Fuzz Tone. This was the first one that came out in the early 60s. If you listen to Satisfaction, this is what he used. The Beatles used one of these on, wasn't Rubber Soul? I think it was Revolver. There's a fuzz bass. This is what they used. Very simple. This was 1.5 volts. It uses a AA battery. And so it doesn't have the gain, like the fuzz face was a 9 volts. So it's totally different sound. Simple volume and attack, but it's an interesting sound, but it's part of that history. But Satisfaction made this thing really popular and famous. It was a famous one for its time.
And it's on incense too.
Oh,
So
that's
Ed
right.
used- Ed used that.
That's right.
And I
Yeah.
remember asking Ed, what'd you use on incense? And he told me, about the pedal. And I said, I emailed him or texted him back, whatever, and I said, so that there was probably not many choices back then. He goes, there was no choice. That
Yeah.
was the only.
That was
fuzz.
it. That was
That
the
was
only
it.
one.
Only game
Yeah.
in town.
Okay,
Okay.
now this here with the
Ready?
movie figure, let me turn you on. You're good.
Okay. Let's see if my bypassed. Okay, here we go.
And we're on the frequency box by Mooger Fogger, which is a voltage controlled pedal. All analog too, by the way.
Yeah, this one's.
Frequency.
Now I'm not getting the sound that I got last night, but that's okay. This can do a pretty good auto wah.
Bring it over here. I used to work with Moog.
We got a short cord here for
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna get
All
a
right,
longer
that's
one.
okay.
Wait, I got a long one.
I got a longer one too. Here.
All right, give me it so I can play. I'll tweak it for you.
Yeah, it's actually easier too if you do it.
No, basically the Mooger Froger things were certain modules that were on the original Moog synthesizers, and the Mini Moog and the Model 5
Thanks,
Moog, were
Doug.
kind of like Keith Emerson used. Those filters, 4-pole filters, were some of the best in the
You
business.
got that one.
You got it.
And
Yeah.
that famous Moog bass sound is famous for that.
Hang on.
Okay,
Jeff.
there we go.
One little connection, and we're back in business here.
Okay, tell me when, and I'll plug it back in.
You're good to go.
And the drive on these things, I remember hearing about the original Moog synth. They screwed up on a value of one of the resistors, and it had distortion.
Ooh,
And
that's
it
terrible.
was a happy accident. Yeah, no, it became part of their thing.
Keep playing.
And when you've got it free like that, Jeff, it doesn't do the. It's not reading pitch. It's just.
Go ahead.
Get it back, pick up.
Think of the hours of fun you could have with this.
For
We
a certain
could
texture,
we could do our own horror soundtrack,
exactly.
right? Totally.
Ooh, there you go. And these are definitely the kind of pedals where you gotta, it's gonna be different everywhere. I heard the change in the sound, even
Okay, so
keeping
this is
them
the waveform. Okay.
right.
That's right, folks. You didn't just suddenly switch to Hello Kitty. This is still all about guitar.
50s television.
How about backwards? Fun stuff, man.
This is a crazy box.
Yeah, it's a nut. That's a nutty one. You're braver than I am, Jeff. I couldn't. I have to put it on the tracking thing where it reads the voltage.
Here's tracking.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, this
But it
sounds
has a
more
different
fun.
sound, though, doesn't it?
And I think you can actually put a oscillator and make this sweet.
Yeah.
It's got like, let's see. You can. It does envelope amount. It does the
Yeah, so
it's
you
the
can
wave
sweep
and
this. This can
frequency.
go like I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, you can put in an expression pedal and actually sweep the kick butt.
Like 4 of them.
Hey, I put MOOG pedals on boards for it. We've maxed everything out on there.
And these MOOG pedals are basically a synth block.
It's an oscillator.
Yeah.
And this is the guitar where this leads. This is not a synth.
Goes great with this guy. Chase Bliss. Walrus Audio like smoke. See, this is the cool stuff that we didn't expect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
I love knobs. I love knobs. That's cool.
Isn't that awesome? All right, well, let's switch to the. This next one's a little tamer, if there's such a thing for a MOOG pedal.
Okay.
Anyway, if you, I recommend if you guys get a chance, try modular Moogs and mini Moogs because a lot of this
awesome.
stuff is similar to that. And then there's also rig modulator pedals that come out. What is this one? This is the anime. Oh, the Murph.
And look, I got the little 50th anniversary stickers on them.
Those are cool. They are really.
I went
Cool.
to-
They're huge. They're
They
big.
are huge.
They take a
The
lot of
only
real
downside-
estate on your
Yeah.
pedal board.
They still they're making these and they're way smaller. But I don't know if they actually, you know what? They have a bass Murph too, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I don't think I'm going to run it any day soon and get a bass one too.
All right, let's see what this thing does.
Okay.
Okay, turn off the other pedals. So this is an envelope filter.
And changing the wave on this one really makes a difference in how it sounds, the attack and everything. It can actually sound backwards on some of those, Jeff.
I could see how this really could influence the way you play too.
Oh yeah.
So it gets like a sample hold. Let me get
Right.
the rate up.
Oh wow.
And this particular pedal is actually stereo too. Worth mentioning.
Yeah. And when you turn the mix all the way up, it can be really fun too. So there's no guitar. We're basically a synth. Isn't that cool?
Kind of similar to the sound on the Who.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
Doesn't it?
Do root fifth eighth. Root
Right.
fifth, No, just hit it once. Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Sounds almost like an arpeggiator.
Yes.
There's another company out there called Hologram.
There's your backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
I have the dream.
The dream sequence.
I was going to bring it.
It's
a badass
Now
pedal.
this has 2 LFO banks, and it's really interesting. This A bank is really
Yeah. It's so cool that sounds backwards because the envelope's so slow. Opening up. And that sounds like a phase shifter there. Uh-oh.
when in doubt, flange it. This is cool.
Isn't that bitchin'? I was kind of fretting a little
Not
bit.
for the weak-hearted. You
No.
really got to sit down and tweak, but you can get some really cool type of gimmicky things that'll work in a song.
This is a lot easier than the other guy to dial in. If there is. For MOOG, anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Here, a little. Let's put a subtle amount of it.
And what I'm adjusting and turning the knob, like, so I start at like a real shrill, like, go ahead. And then I bring it down, see? So I'm gonna play again. Like slowing a Leslie speaker.
Right.
That can be adjusted by a foot switch. You can voltage control that. That's the real cool thing about the Mooger Foogers, is that you can actually control all the parameters. All right. We got like 2 minutes
Oh, wow.
before we go. Is there anything you want to just last minute show me?
Uh,
The whammy?
yeah.
Show me the whammy pedal, and then we got to take off. See, it goes by too fast. We have too much fun.
No, I thought, oh man, we're gonna.
And while he's setting that up, I'm going to mute this real quick and just tell you briefly, strawberryalarmclock.com is their website, and they're playing all over the place all the time. Kathy's company, ToneZone LA, is www.tonezonela.com. You can see all sorts of cool things, and I went on there the other day, and I saw my pedal board up on there, so it's
nice.
very nice. And
And I'm next.
yes. So anyway,
wrong one.
while he's grabbing that,
The right one.
what else do I have here?
Yeah.
Oh, one of the ones I want to make a shout out is
here
my
it is.
friend Felipe Olivieri, who makes this Solo Dallas pedal. This is the Storm, and it's basically the circuit of the Schaefer wireless system. It's the receiver, the transmitter receiver, but this one is unique because it has a compressor in between them, so you can fatten up the first gain stage. And what happened was a lot of guitarists used to use them and just crank them up, and they would distort, and it was a really nice distortion that would overdrive their Marshalls. This is really voiced well for Marshalls. So what I do is I use this one. I'll gain I'll really dime up the first stage, and then I compress it. This is a compressor, and then goes to the second stage. I'll pull it back a little bit, and it works as a great. It fattens the sound and gives you plenty of sustain. And he makes bass heads, speakers,
I'll be your
all sorts of stuff. So it's really pretty cool. Check out the Solo Dallas stuff. But this is another one that I use this a lot now, so it's pretty cool.
And a
Okay, let's
couple
hear this
things.
pedal real quick, and then we got to go.
Now, a lot of people, think of Tom Morello, and it really can do some very fun, like, almost French
That is the
impressed.
most weird pedal I've ever. That's cool though.
And what's cool about this, it's 8-bit. So when you do certain things, it sounds like it's dying.
Yeah, there's a newer version of that that's really kind of much more radical. But this thing is cool in itself.
The first 2 years they did this was done by this company, IVL. And they, let's try the octave, octave up. Let's see, where's that gun? Right around there somewhere.
Octave down. That's cool. Well,
anyway,
we're out of time. Anyway, I hope that everybody out there has a great holiday, and I hope you wake up to all these pedals under your tree, because this would be the ultimate gift. If Santa brought all these things, it'd probably break his back, but it would be cool. Anyway, thank you guys so much. It's great to have you here. Let me get the outro music in. But we will be back next week. Everybody have a great holiday, and we will see you later. Take care.